Buy back your time and buy Rev. My name is Craig Greening. I'm the CEO and lead litigator for the Greening Law Group, a boutique federal and state criminal defense law firm. We handle cases, state cases in Texas, and we handle federal cases all over the United States. We've handled cases all the way from Seattle to Washington, D.C. Recently, we had a murder case that was pretty high stakes. The offer on the case was 50 years in prison, and then the prosecutors asked during the trial for a life sentence. So there was a lot of stake in this trial, and we prepped really heavily using Rev to get our transcripts in order. So probably the most important thing that happened during the murder trial was there was a witness that appeared during the trial that we weren't really expecting to testify because they also had criminal charges pending resulting from this actual occurrence. So we were kind of scrambling in the middle of trial. And then I remember that Rev has this special feature. It's called Insight. And I took every statement that he had ever made and I said, tell me all the inconsistencies that happened in his statement. I just put it through the AI filter and it listed all of them out. And it put it in great order. And I said, well, put it in an order where I can cross-examine this witness. And it created a cross-examination template for me. But what was great about it was when he started lying on the witness stand, I already had the timestamps of the videos of the statements that he made. So I could go right to him, show them to him with the transcript side by side and get him to admit that, okay, he was mistaken earlier when he said something. And it was super effective during the trial because this was the brother of the deceased. And it helped us achieve a really good result. So instead of getting 50 years or life in prison, my client got 20 years. And when we talked to the jury later, the jury said this was super effective, the cross-examination on that brother, but I wasn't even prepared for it. And the reason why Rev was so powerful is because I was able to prepare within seconds during the middle of the trial. So one of the biggest frustrations we had with our previous software that we used for storing videos was you couldn't view any videos on your mobile phone. So you would have to pull out your laptop, you have to have a great internet connection to review any videos. I watch videos at lunch now. I watch them on the go when I'm sitting in my Cybertruck getting it charged up. Basically, Rev has made my life so much easier because I don't have to be at my desk with a laptop with a good internet connection to watch videos. But yeah, we use Rev for a assault case. The prosecutor and I were kind of arguing over whether or not my client punched the guy or just shoved the guy. And I said, well, let me pull it up on my cell phone real quick. And I already had it queued up on there. And I was able to go into Rev and play the Axon video that they screen recorded with the body cam. I said, take me to the area where my client's saying something to this other person, and you could hear it on the video. And it took me right there. And I was able to show the prosecutor that he was just shoving him, not punching him, so he didn't cause bodily injury. And so it was super powerful. There was another trial we had. It was a felon in possession of a firearm case. And what we realized in the middle of the trial was there was a dash cam video that we were missing that could have suppressed all the evidence in the case. Because the dash cam could have shown what the traffic violation was. And our client was saying that traffic violation didn't happen. But we didn't have the dash cam video. And the government was saying that the dash cam video was destroyed. And so I just put into Rev, I said, is there any time in any of these reports or any of these videos where the officer referenced his dash cam video and viewing it? And it found him talking to another officer 20 minutes after arrest, because the sergeant's coming over and saying, hey, what did you pull him over for? And he says, oh, I reviewed my dash cam video and it showed this traffic violation. Well, we didn't have it. So the judge basically said, hey, look, it says it right here on this video. You didn't turn it over. You need to tell me what happened to it. And they said it was destroyed. Well, later on in the trial, the police department called and says, hey, we found the dash cam video. But by that time, we had already progressed through the trial. So at that point, the judge was mad and he's trying to throw out all the evidence. And we end up with an agreement. My client was offered 8 years in prison. We end up with a deferred adjudication probation for 2 years because of that. I think the number one thing that Rev gives me, my ROI, is time. Every criminal defense attorney knows, every civil lawyer knows, it gets all this discovery. You're spending hours and hours and hours going through useless video most of the time. And what Rev does is it allows me to go in and find out where are the key points that I need to be looking at. It also helps you not miss things. So let's say you get a intoxication manslaughter case. and you know there's going to be at least 10 to 15 police officers out there, all with body cams, dash cams, sometimes audio recordings. And a lot of it's repetitive. So you're watching the same video just from a different perspective. And it used to take me 10, 20 hours, sometimes 30 hours to go through all that. Now I can just go through the insights and say, give me the timeline, tell me what happened. And what Rev does is it gives you the timeline and it structures it in paragraphs. And it'll put every officer's interaction with that in that paragraph with the timestamp on it. And so it makes it easier to just go right to the point to where you want to go. I basically just use Rev as my trial notebook now. When you see me in trial, my associate the other day was like, "What? You don't have paper? You don't have your cross-examination notes? Nothing?" I said, "No, it's all in Rev. I put the notes in there. I've tabbed everything, and I'm just filtering through Rev to do my trial notebook. So buy back your time and buy Rev."